There is a quiet deception that many people fall into, the belief that leaving a toxic environment automatically means healing has taken place. We walk away from unhealthy relationships. We leave dysfunctional workplaces. We distance ourselves from draining friendships. And in that moment, it feels like freedom. But time has a way of revealing something deeper. Because many people who escape toxicity eventually find themselves surrounded by it again. Different people, different circumstances, different place, but the same patterns, the same pain, the same outcomes. Why? Because escape is not transformation. You can change your location and still carry the same internal condition. Geography can change your surroundings, but it does not automatically change your soul. We live in a culture that teaches us to identify external problems quickly. It was them. They were toxic. That environment was unhealthy. And sometimes that's absolutely true. There are toxic people. There are harmful environments. There are situations that require separation. But here is the deeper question most people avoid. What inside of me allowed that environment to exist in my life? Not always caused it, but tolerated it. Because toxicity does not just invade. Many times it is permitted. Sometimes through fear, sometimes through insecurity, sometimes through a need for approval, sometimes through a lack of boundaries. And until we confront that truth, we will keep relocating the problem instead of resolving it. A person may walk away from toxicity, yet still carry the very seeds that created or sustained it. Seeds of low self-worth, fear of rejection, the inability to say no, the need to be needed, the habit of ignoring red flags, the tendency to confuse chaos with connection. These seeds don't disappear just because the environment changes. They remain. And wherever they remain, they eventually produce fruit. That's why some people leave one toxic relationship, only to enter another. Not because they are cursed, but because the internal pattern was never interrupted. There is something about the human heart. It is drawn to what is familiar, even when what is familiar is harmful. Chaos can feel normal if you were raised in it. Disrespect can feel acceptable if you were conditioned by it. Emotional instability can feel like passion if that's all you've ever known. So when you leave toxicity without inner healing, you don't just miss the person, you miss the pattern. And without realizing it, you begin to gravitate back toward what feels familiar. Not because it's good, but because it's known. You can change cities and still choose the same kind of people. You can leave one relationship and recreate the same dynamic with someone new. You can quit one job and end up in another environment with the same dysfunction. Because what is unhealed is often repeated. Until something changes within you, your life will keep echoing the same lessons, just with different names and faces. Real change does not begin with relocation. It begins with revelation. The moment you stop asking, "Why does this keep happening to me?" and start asking, What is this revealing about me? That is where transformation begins. Transformation requires self-awareness, the courage to see yourself clearly, accountability, the willingness to take responsibility for your patterns, boundaries, the strength to protect your peace, healing, addressing the wounds that shaped your decisions, renewal of the mind, learning to think differently. Because until your thinking changes, your life will not. When the inner man is renewed, everything changes. You no longer ignore red flags, you recognize them. You no longer chase unhealthy connections, you discern them. You no longer tolerate what drains you, you walk away early. You no longer need validation, you walk in identity. And suddenly, the same toxicity that once attracted you now repels you. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Freedom is not just leaving what hurt you. Freedom is becoming someone who no longer partners with what hurt you. You don't just need distance. You need development. You don't just need separation. You need transformation. Because until the inner man is renewed, the outer experience will remain familiar, just with a different name and a different face. So don't just walk away. Grow, heal, renew. And when you do, you won't just escape toxicity. You'll outgrow it. You can leave a place and still carry the patterns that were formed there. You can change your environment and still think the same thoughts, respond the same way, and choose the same outcomes. Because real freedom is not found in distance. It is found in transformation. The truth is, until the inner man is renewed, life will keep repeating the same lessons. Different people, different situations, different seasons, but the same cycles. And maybe that's where you are right now. Frustrated, confused, wondering why things haven't changed, even though you walked away. But here's the hope. You are not stuck. You are not doomed to repeat what you've lived. Cycles can be broken. Patterns can be changed. But it doesn't start out there. It starts within. When your thinking changes, your decisions change. When your decisions change, your direction changes. And when your direction changes, your life follows. So don't just run from what hurt you. Grow beyond it. Heal from it. Learn from it. Because when you truly change, you won't just escape toxicity. You will no longer recognize it as something you belong in. And one day, you'll look back and realize it didn't follow you anymore, because you finally became someone it could no longer stay attached to. If this message spoke to you, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. And more importantly, take the time to look within, because your next level isn't somewhere else. It's in who you become.